Hello guys, I would like to show you a game from the master just finished, and I was actually able to promote to GM, so I was thinking about making some videos from that, and I was just now testing some stuff for that reason. So it was a 4-player game versus Totsilence, whom I know very well. We played a lot. He's a German player, and Sektat. Also, we played a lot of tournaments together, and I think there's Swiss and Gandin also familiar from the international. At least we played a lot in that, and at this point it was pretty clear that Totsilence and Gandin are the main contenders for the promotion. So this was a pretty crucial game. So what do we have here for wonders and leaders? I basically just check the amount of military actions that are available. There seems to be Ziska and Catherine for that, and Robespierre also, who is also a very solid leader in some games, in some low science games. And then maybe Himeji, St. Peter's, and from H1, and not the best H2 wonders either, but no ocean liner and no Harvard College, but those can be worked with. So without further ado, let's take a look at the turns. Yeah, for Totsilence there's some possibilities, but maybe Aristotle being the most obvious choice, so he goes for that. Then there's Sektat. They opt to go for the pyramids, which I think is quite nice. There's also the library, but maybe it just values the civil action more. But it's probably close call. Gandin then goes for the library and takes Sanzu as well. So he has a wonder and a leader already, so that's not bad. So for me, the sort of card row has been depleted from nice cards, so let's see what I come up with. So I take Stonehenge, and with that, obviously patriotism A. Yeah, I think the reasoning for that was, let's see what I thought. I think I was thinking about maybe getting a Shoka in late position, that, and also in later position the extra military action could help me defend if things get bad. But I think also taking the urban growth could be fine. But then again, I maybe wish to delay the second lab at least for a while, since I'm taking some science with the Stonehenge. So let's see how this works out. Yeah, Totsilence elects Aristotle, takes the gardens, builds mine, pops, so pretty standard stuff. Sektat mine, pop, and a couple of yellow cards. The row is quite heavy with the yellow cards, so not the best ones to take anyway, but also could be fine. And there's really no alternative to taking those. Gandin selects Sun Tzu, takes EG for 2 civil actions, and then takes region line A, so they can already finish the library if they wish on the next turn for sure. For me, Ashoka falls down to 1. He's the only leader for 1. And I have the patriotism A to work with him. So I just go for the Ashoka and then standard stuff. I draw the open borders. That's always very nice to draw. Totsilence goes for the knights and lab, pop, and that's that. So that's easily the best card from the first two spots, one CA and 2 CA spots. So I think that's great. Sektat then builds a lab, takes Moses, elects Moses and pops. Yeah, I mean Caesar or Moses. I think Moses has a better. Well, he can be used at least. Just popping, and you don't have to worry about drawing some events to see it with Caesar. So probably fine, and also works with the pyramids to have the extra CA for using for popping. Gandin then just increases population, goes for the first mine, and then takes monarchy. Maybe going for revolution. Who knows? But that may be a bit hard to get out of corruption. So for me, it was just first offered the open borders. I think I don't want to offer it to Sun Tzu player and also Totsilence maybe in a vacuum a stronger player. So I decided to go with Sektat. And then I built a couple of stages, and then I wanted to get the Ashoka bonus going. And it was about what's the best card from the 2 CA range, since theology is not worth taking for just the bonus. So I decided in the last position, Swordsman should be the best choice. Totsilence then goes for the monarchy. It's pretty early still, and gets the bonus for taking that. So maybe he can go for it pretty soon. Builds a stage and takes Richland 1, and shows phalanx. So knights will be doing some work. Sektat then opens the religion, free religion for everyone. Builds a stage, takes breakthrough. Yeah, I suppose there could be some options. Taking alchemy instead of that. There's Leonardo also, but that may be a bit. Well, he actually could have taken both alchemy and Leo. So yeah, maybe that could have been a way to go forward. Takes reserves. Gandin then builds the library and pops. So that does leave me Leo with alchemy for 1. So that alone is pretty nice. And I was on the last turn, I built 2 steps to maybe be open for another wonder, but now that the row doesn't move to drop Silk Road further down, so probably going for the Leo alchemy stuff. Just some food for everyone. I take Leo and Alchemy to get the full Ashoka bonus going, but there's no rush going for him yet. I just pop a lot and then build Warrior to get out of corruption. And with having the Swordsman, the extra Warrior should be fine. And this is a solid turn, I think. So drawing some tactics, but that was already shown. The other copy was shown by Totsilence, so maybe if I can get knights that could be used, but probably I'm fine with the swordsman. Totsilence seeds, markets, goes for the monarchy, finishes the gardens, takes cartography, so maybe there's some colony play coming. Also pops. Sektat uses Moses as he should be used. Goes for the pyramids, takes Eleanor. Yeah, I think Eleanor is a nice leader in 4P. Also, the draws in H2 are just so valuable. So, if he has a lot of events in hand, that's always nice to just see it and then also get the bonus when replacing. And I think, well, that may have been a mistake. Maybe he just didn't have the CA to pop before that. Yeah, I suppose he had to switch before popping the last time, so he couldn't get the Moses discount anymore. Gandin seeds also. There's warfare, some more baby warriors for me and for everyone. Pops, builds lab, takes patriotism, so the row is moving very slow. For me, I seed, yeah, I haven't checked what I seeded. I think I seeded scientific breakthrough at some point, but I'm not sure if I already did it last turn. So now it's a good time to switch. Switch leader, go for the alchemy, build one straight up and get out of corruption. And then one more CA left, and I think it should be another upgrade. Yeah. So full alchemy upgrade for now, and Leo going. So that's a pretty good start. Totsilence opens some more science, goes for cartography, warfare, popping, and switching to fighting band. Be strongest for now. The deck is just flipped, so being strongest should be a nice way to go forward. Sektat seeds now has a lot of cards to discard, so some culture coming his way. And early rats revealed. I just lose one, but it isn't too bad for anyone. And then right after that, Sektat can go for irrigation quite safely. No rats coming anymore, so a couple upgrades there. So perfect timing for him. Also builds a warrior and shows the legion to be strongest. There's knights taking from the row by Gandin. I think that's a mistake. Even without Sun Tzu, just keep up with the a bit of a strength build-up by all players. Copies the phalanx and is easily the strongest for now. And I need to be a bit careful. So swordsman and pat A. Now it sort of comes in handy to have the pat A, even though I could have upgraded all my warriors without that. But then again, it's good to use it now when there's, well, nothing too interesting on the road. There's just leader I cannot take, alchemy I cannot take, and wonders that I cannot take. And then I opt to go for the irrigation since the rats are gone and to have something to invest in. Totsilence then goes for the naval trade with Gandin. He's the weakest for now, so maybe seeding is not an option anyway. He goes for the Mikey game. Let's see how that works out. Well, there's a lot of wonders and EG for one, so it should be an okay Mikey, at least culture-wise. And develops knights, dispense warrior, builds knight, and builds a step. So yeah, Saint Pete's with the Hanging Gardens and Mikey, that's a lot of culture generated, but then again, he has no iron yet. So it's production-wise going to be a bit, maybe a bit tricky to go forward. And has the medieval army to not be the weakest. And the scientific breakthrough that I played earlier is revealed, and I easily get the most out of it. And with the Stone Age science, I'm swimming in science for now. Just have to be a bit careful with Dark Ages. I haven't seen it, so it could be in. Some cards taken, alchemy also, and goes for the phalanx, and is at least not the weakest now. Gandin seeds, there's uncertain borders, and Mikey gets punished right away. Iron taken, that's pretty strong. He can just upgrade a couple of times. Pretty late irons, but still should be okay. Yeah, I'll go for the code. I have a lot of science, so code is a must invest now to have the extra CA, and also need to finish the Stonehenge, even though the age might not end, but it should be very likely that it will end. So I have to prepare for that, copy the Legion, and that's that. Totsilence then goes for the iron. It's Mikey without iron is also always a bit tricky, even trickier than it is now, so going for iron is pretty vital for Mikey plays. So he goes for iron, couple upgrades, takes the heritage because he's a bit low on science also, but stays the weakest. Raiders, and I'm sadly one of the two weakest because of the turn order, but it's a bit annoying. I don't have the most resources, but still Leo's giving me some stuff also. just goes for alchemy, takes breakthrough, play reserves, another alchemy. I think Sektat's taking both the breakthroughs now, so he has been able to get some cheap science from the row. Gandin then see it as being the strongest, and then there's some more food. Sektat gets the most food, having gone for the irrigation already. But with the rats gone, everyone should be able to use the extra food also. Goat for 3. Yeah, it's pretty expensive, but having 4 CA, it's also not too great. And with the monarchy, well, it's a bit tough science-wise to go for both, but it could work. But I'm not sure if this is entirely correct play. Well, let's see. Maybe wants to keep his options open since it's pretty late, just to go for the H2 government a bit later and skip the monarchy anyway. Get some more knights to be strongest again. And age is about to end, but doesn't end before my turn. And then there's an obviously the best colony from H1, probably seeded by Totsilence, since he is on 3 colonization bonus. And I decided to go all in for that and hoping not to win. I figured that Totsilence will go for it pretty heavily, and probably an army and then some guards. So with the army he has 5 and then 3 from the bonus. And I think I make a small mistake. I think I should have bid 8 for this, because hoping for that he has 2 colonization cards. I mean, obviously now that it went down like this, it's even better, since he has to spend all the units and 2 cards. But I think it was too risky to bid 9. But yeah, I was definitely hoping not to win this, but just make Mikey pay. And it went well. In retrospect, it was perfect, but a bit too risky. So, an army and 2 cards, and that's pretty bad, since he has to rebuild in H2. And well, it's a good colony, but is it this good? I'm not sure. So I'll go for the irrigation, couple of upgrades, and then I have 2 CI left. And let's see what I just pop and build another warrior. Just, I think I see the call to arms earlier, so I'd like to build one more warrior. Just, it's still H1, and it could be used for maybe some colonies, and now it makes me one of the 2 strongest, though. That's what I decided to do. And then rich land is always fine with Leo and 3 bronze mines, because then you can always go for the coal upgrade should it be available. I draw some cards, it maybe can be used. Immigration, even though, well, Totsilence has gardens and the Saint Beats, so maybe a bit tough to play, but always nice to have the extra pop somehow from that. And Totsilence needs to rebuild some strength, otherwise it's too risky. So he pops a couple of times, goes for the new army of medieval stuff, plays the cultural heritage, takes some more food from the row, develops warfare just to be sure to defend. But all in all, I think that was a pretty steep price to pay for the waste one, but vast territory one. And now he's just delaying more irons and delaying the wonder also. And he's still the weakest, so let's see. Foray revealed. Yeah, I think. Yeah, the extra warrior that I built last turn. I think I was thinking about Foray, but then I forgot that Sektat will get one more strength from the Zanzu tactic, so that did not work in that way. But well, that's fine. Goes for the Parent Circuses to fix his happiness. Pops some more knights to be strongest. Gandin does not have a leader from H1 yet, so let's see. It just goes for the Ziska. I think the extra military action should be better than the Nostradamus. And yeah, and he can also fill 2 phalanx tactics, so that's an obvious choice to be strongest. And another upgrade to iron, and he's strongest and has a pretty nice position at this point. Then I have some stuff to do. There's iron for 1, but it's pretty late. So let's see if I still take it. But I really like this strategy. I have a lot of spare science. There would be Dark Ages. I want to spend some science before it gets taken away, maybe. And also getting stronger and keeping more cards. That's a very nice card. And some free military actions also. So it's at 3. It's pretty pricey, but I think it will pay off. And I also go for the iron just to have some option to maybe go for a couple upgrades next turn. I draw some colonies, but and tough to see those being played since Totsilence has the colonization bonus. Let's see what he finds from the deck, and then there's barbarians. And with me getting the strategy and the upgrade to my warrior, Sektat ends up being one of the 2 weakest and loses a pop. So that's always a bit bad when you get hit by barbarians. And it was also pretty close, I think, with Totsilence being relatively same culture amount. So some warriors, upgrade to iron, selective breeding. Yeah, you need the food, and that's a pretty reasonable price to pay for selective breeding. Also masonry is a bit, maybe doesn't have much science to spare to that, but maybe it could work. But he's still weakest, and let's see if there's Reign of Terror, so he's getting pummeled by the event deck, but let's see if he can recover. There's an Early Republic. I was quite annoyed to see that come out now, since Sektat can go for it, and I could have definitely used that also. But let's see if there's another copy coming down. So Early Republic, some more pop, resources taken from the row, and also warfare. Yeah, we have the pact, but also with the strategy being taken away, I think having some way to get the third military action back, should I maybe offer another pack to someone else? So that could be a nice backup to have. Gandin goes for Newton for 3. Yeah, I mean, this guy is giving him some strength, but then again, he also needs to have more science and replacement leader. And I maybe could have at least considered taking Newton on my turn, should he be available. And he also has enough science for a government next turn. And yeah, I end up offering another pact, so that ends the pact with Sektat. And I offer trade agreement to Gandin, taking food with that, since I have just irrigations and maybe potential to go for more rock production, and I also have Leo for rocks, so their food should be a bit more useful. And as you can see, there's also the Second Republic, so that will cause that my turn will be pretty smooth, since I can go for the Republic and also 2 upgrades to my iron, so that's pretty slick turn. And also could have gone for the last upgrade, but also there was cavalryman on the row, so that should be taken. I have swordsman already, and to maybe fill some tactics to just be safer. So I think cavalryman is a nice pick here. It also keeps the rifleman for 2 civil actions for Totsilence, and he basically needs to take it. So that's 1 extra CA that he has to spend. And I think at this point I took a call to Vlada's office and placed an order for a nice tactic. So let's see how it goes. Yeah. Obviously, after taking Cav, there's the classic army. Yeah, so that made me happy. Border conflict. Totsilence getting some more bad news from the deck, and Gandin taking some extra rocks. Now he can finish the St. Pete's, builds a farm, rebuilds a farm. He had to lose it to Reign of Terror, and takes the rifleman for 2. Sektat then siege again. There's some more science for all. Goes for what? Already has irrigation, but then again he needs to go for coal. So what is helpful, and he can now just get the civil actions back and go for it straight away. 2 upgrades even, so that's pretty nice turn. And why not go for 3 upgrades? So pretty sick turn. And then some cards. Gandin then goes for seeding and call to arms. That's one of my events, so I don't get hit by it. Gandin goes for the Newton play, and he gets a ton of science production just out of nowhere. Also going for the Conmon. It should be a nice pick. And also some happiness solution. Now I'm strongest, I suppose I seed. And what Did I actually seed? I missed that one. Well, I'm not going to go back. I think it will come out. And I decide that in a bit of a culture-wise, I'm not that great. I have some extra rocks I can use, and getting Louvre pretty cheaply with the architecture, I think, is pretty nice way to keep up with the culture while I'm strongest anyway, and I have a nice tactic. I can probably defend my culture. So I decided to go for the architecture and just finish the Louvre. Then taking team sports. I still have the immigration in hand. I think there's beer in the game and also internet, so team sports should be a nice one. And I maybe plan to seed the immigration into the deck anyway. Because if I can go for maybe two of those, then I have max. I max out my happy faces, so I'm guaranteed to get the extra pop for that. Even with assigned beats from Totsilence. Then I take urban growth and food corruption, but I think that's fine. Fine to just take the corruption here for some gods. There's another territory, and Totsilence will win it easily. Gonna go for rifleman even, just replacing the warrior with the rifleman. And he has easily the best tactic of the game. Just kidding, but it's still nice for him now. He's strongest and somewhat defend. Also takes the rich land to go for the farm upgrades easier. Another rifleman there, and the last one taken by Sektat. Now that the Conquistadors is revealed, there's at least some tactic that he can go for now. Upgrades, takes a bunch of science from the row, and builds a lab. So he is not looking bad as well. He has nice coal going, some strong science production. And Gandin decides to go for the Conmon. Takes railroad. He has a bunch of rocks he needs to use. And can fix his happiness now. And an extra lab even. So 12 science production is pretty strong. Yeah, I decided to seed the immigration. There's crusades. I won't lose or gain anything, but that's pretty much insignificant event anyway. I go for the cav, pop, build cav. Go for the last iron upgrade. Take Nobel, just to put some pressure on other players, and is available for one. Already have a government, and Darwin would take some work, even though I have the team sports, and James Cook wouldn't do anything, so Nobel is pretty self-evident pick. And then some more resources. I'll end up taking all of those yellow cards, even though EG2 might be a bit tough to use, but let's see if I can find a use for that. And yeah, I do have to war over territory, and I was eyeing on launching a war next turn. and for that also the strength could be nice. Yeah, sadly there's prosperity before I go for the team sports, but what can you do? Totsilence has some science lead at this point, but he's a bit low on population, and he's, well, let's see if he can manage. Goes for the journalism and even builds one, and I think at this point I thought it was a pretty big mistake to invest in 8 rocks into journalism, even though that is generally nice, but maybe he could not afford it at this point. With me being pretty menacing in my strength, if I have a war, he just has no nice defense. So that was a bit greedy, but also it could work if I don't have a war, and he can just get some more science and culture. Sektat then goes for the warfare, pretty late warfare, but also sucks to be on 2 MA. Goes for cannon, maybe has a tactic for that, since, well, he only knows about conquistadors now, so maybe had he known about the classic army, then maybe he wouldn't have taken the cannon. Goes for journalism, even builds one, but he has a lot of rocks to use, so that is definitely, he can afford it. Another cannon taken. Selective breeding, he has to fix his food. And Newton doing Newton stuff and saving him some precious CA. Can go for a lot of stuff and can still finish the railroad next time. And yeah, indeed, I plan to war Totsilence. He was the main contender, and he's anyway worst prepared for any war shenanigans, so it was only obvious that he should be warred. So I'll go for team sports, build one, increase population, go for the government, then show the tactic, and then I also play reserves to pop again, and then sell some paintings to go for another team sports, just to give more strength, and could also be some pacts like military protection that could end up giving Totsilence more strength than it's than I can see now. So one Mona Lisa gone, but I think that team sports will work just fine. And also taking cannon for some maybe modern infantry tactic next age, and also frugality for extra pop at some point. But yeah, I played the immigration, so now I'm guaranteed to get the bonus. Well, not guaranteed if there's maybe terrorism, but yeah, I think I have the least science anyway at this point. No, Gandin has less culture than me. Totsilence then decides to seed, maybe getting something from the deck, and well, that's something. That's a pretty nice event. When in war, you can just put some more stuff in the military. Has to destroy a lab, but then again, he only needs to destroy one thing. Goes for Catherine, patriotism, and then kind of start going for food next turn. But now, as we can see, the extra 2 strength from the team sports still gives me one more yellow cube from Totsilence. So had I not built that, it would have it would have been one cube less, so it's worked out nice. Sektat goes for statue, then cannon, and he has the Napoleonic army, so that's pretty nice for him to defend against my strength push. And also takes cavalryman, just be prepared for some other tactics as well. Gandin then seeds, and that is popularization of science. He gets the most out of it, so probably his event. And everyone else gets some extra culture as well. Modern infantry for 3. Yeah, it was Napoleonic. It was just real, so he needs the modern infantry to get that unoutdated. So that gives him some strength, and he can play the wave pretty nicely, and then upgrade some units. Also, the first Air Force on the row, so it's usually an auto pick. So he goes for those. Yeah, steal 2 yellow cubes from Totsilence, and then I seed into my own immigration. Get the extra pop, which is very nice when I'm pretty deep in my bank anyway. And also, only have 2 production for now. Then I decide to, deny military buildup, and also maybe if there's a colony, I might be able to use it anyway for my own good. And also reserves. Any reserves I just take away from mainly Totsilence and also other players. And then I also decide to use my EG2 and take Kremlin. There's Gandhi in the game, so having the 5th civil action that at least threatens the hybrid war at all times, even versus Gandhi, so that's nice, and I can use my EG, and also it basically cost me 1 CA now to build it, since I got 1 back after finishing it, and it gives me some more culture and some more action. So yeah, maybe a previous version of me wouldn't have ever taken Kremlin at this point, but I think that's pretty okay for this. I draw a war already, so that's good news. Gives me some opportunity to maybe go for an early war. There's civil service taken. Well, Totsilence is at 5 CA, so he needs to maybe have more to end the game earlier and also take some cards. Sektat is weakest, and then there's the second Air Force just pops out of the deck, and it just takes it with the mill theory. Goes for the military theory and internet to have a wonder. He has some nice urban buildings, so it could be nice. There's pure in the game, so some potential there. Gets corruption, but maybe not a nice way to get out of it anyway. And with 9 production, it doesn't do much damage. I get the tourism from Gandin, which is always nice. He goes for the engineering and finishes very effectively the Transcontinental Railroad. Gets some extra strength, probably takes the oil also. Yeah, it's not that late, and oil could still do a lot of stuff. And movies just to invest the resources from those mines. And then, having drawn the war, I think Totsilence is still a bit weak, so I can just go for the war and finish Kremlin and do that all in 1 turn. And then there's Churchill, Yeah, he would be nice for Totsilence for defense, and I can use him offensively here. Just replacing Noble now, I can get the Nobel Prize right away. I just go for the cannons just to use his science also. Well, I didn't take the Nobel Prize, but whatever. I can get it later also, but I just wanted to spend use his rocks for military, and also the science for military, and there's Napoleonic already revealed, so cannons could be still used. And I go for the 3, and I think Totsilence can go for, well, he can go +3 or whatever he was able to go for earlier, but I think his potential is not that strong, and even with that pact, I think he can only reach 41 or so. He plays the patriotism, has to disband some more, goes for the civil service still, goes for, yeah, I had calculated that he will build those units and copy my tactics, so that would have been 38, but now it's 41 with the pact, but still 14-point swing anyway against my top opponent, so that's always nice, and he had to destroy another lab for that. So all in all, a pretty nice war. And then the spear for Sektat with having the internet, and also a couple of bread circuits for now. It should be fine for him. He uses what a couple more times. Go for the selective breeding. It's 3 upgrades, and still having gone for the 1 upgrade, he can pop next turn. Not the most effective way to get some more food, but it could work. Destroys a lab, builds another unit just to be safe from aggression. Also gets corruption, 2nd turn in a row. He still have 20 rocks, so maybe not that bad. Gandin goes for tanks. Maybe he has the modern army already. He's prepping a lot of military now. He's a bit behind in culture, so maybe adding some war pressure is pretty nice. Takes a lot of cards. And then the war gets evaluated. I see something. I have no recollection what I see it there, and it was too fast to see. Yeah, there's computers played by me. Yeah, I think it's pretty nice. I have an efficient upgrade I can use to get some more science going. And then for the 2nd time in a row, I used the Churchill bonuses. And like this, I can go for the modern infantry and score the Nobel Prize. And also go for some upgrades to be strongest, and also taking spaceflight. Since I will have a lot of potential for that, and now I can use my CA now that there's nothing really happening. I can just use the CA to take wonder and maybe finish it at the end for a lot of points. I got corruption, but that's with the Louvre probably likely to have some corruption at some point. And taking spaceflight for 5 CA also a bit costly, so couldn't use so much stuff. Yeah, that's one of my events. So That's a nice way to win it. Totsilence at least does not lose it this time. Takes some rocks. He is still pretty much in danger. Yeah, there's one Air Force left in the deck, so let's see who gets that one. Takes oil probably just to take something. Maybe hard to see him going for the oil. There's historic territory. I think it might have been one of my events since I have a lot of defense cards drawn. So I think that was me too. And I get it for cheap. Sektat goes for the prof sports with Pierre. Gives a lot of extra strength and a lot of points for the internet. Goes for even 3 upgrades. Gets out of corruption this time. So pretty nice stuff. Can go for the satellites. Some more strength and some more potential for impacts. And there's still some war potential from Gandin, and there's going to be at least one more round to declare war. So let's see if there's one at the end. And yeah, Gandin opens terrorism, which is pretty annoying for me, having just gone for the computer. But then again, let's see what the others lose. There's the journalism gun for Totsilence and one prof sports gun for Sektat, and then my computer, and that will annoy me towards the end, losing that 5 science production. It makes my end game a bit harder. Let's see, yeah. Goes for oil, late oil. Some more pop. Goes for Chaplin, maybe allowing him to put more people into military, and also has the movies. Takes Hollywood, so he has nice potential for a big boost at the end, having Chaplin and Hollywood and movies and oil, and build some more military. So it appears he has a war already, and just preps for warring someone with the double modern infantry tactic and air force. So I think that's 103 strength. Should he go for that? So I definitely need to make some preparation for that. The civil unrest revealed that doesn't do much, and as we can see, the last air force has dropped. So I was thinking about what's my best way to maybe win this game. If I take the air force, then Totsilence is basically toast. Cannot defend at all. If Gandin wars, it might be even that big of a war that Gandin can overtake me. So I needed to make the decision: should I just leave the air force for Totsilence and prep for going for a lot of strength without the air force, because Gandin just now revealed the tactic to have the MAs needed to war and build 2 units. So I know for sure that I can get the modern infantry tactic going. So yeah, I pondered on that a while, and then I decided to not go for the air force and prep for three modern infantry armies, modern armies, yeah, myself, and that would put me at 97 strength if I need to build all those. Now that I'm thinking, I have seeded arms industry, so I had some certain rocks from that that I could count to maybe get, and I I decided to skip the Air Force, leave it for Totsilence so that he can defend at least somewhat, doesn't lose too much of the culture to Gandin, and that's how I decided to play it. But obviously the turn is still a bit tricky since I have to use a lot of MA now to copy the tactic next turn and build some more units there. And since the science was, my computers was destroyed, so I can't go for military theory very easily. So I have to plan my turn pretty carefully. Yeah, luckily have some extra population available, so I can just play the military build-up and use the Churchill rocks, build modern infantry, build another, build cannon, play reserves, upgrade another swordsman, take reserves, and just take a few of the cheapest techs to maybe get the Nobel Prize at the end. And I didn't really care if Air Force is for 3 or 2 for Totsilence. I think he'll take it anyway. But I'm not sure what's the reasoning for taking just those 2 cards, but let's see. But now I'm prepped for just building 3 units and copying the tactic next turn should the war be versus me. And that science obviously goes for the Air Force. You can build one already. Place the Rev. Place rockets. It's a bit annoying for the arms industry. I think part of the consideration that I left him there was that maybe he then doesn't go for the rockets, and I can get more rocks from the arms industry, but I can also do my defense without the 2 rocks from that. Takes urban growth. Sektat just goes for Rev, preps for some strength to be safe from aggression at least, even though it's quite clear that Gandin has war and just decides who to war. And I still thought that Totsilence would be the obvious target, even with that, because he can't defend too much, but it should be better than, because it's open knowledge that I can reach 97 strength. But I still get the war. I was pretty annoyed at this point because it also means that I can't finish the wonder. But I luckily have had some backup plan. I had Impact of Science in hand, so I decided to then play it on the next turn and then do the defense and armed intervention another player on the very last politics turn. So yeah, I get the war, and then there's the obvious setup for the war. 2 units and tactic that's over 100 strength. Always a bit nice to see that one in any game. Well, it would be nicer had it been me, but I think it could still be fine with some outcomes. I have to spend the rocks to build the units, but maybe someone had seeded competition, maybe. So yeah, and also I can just now get some more strength, and then use the aggression on the last turn, so it's not all that bad. But I think the way I was playing it, I was hoping the war would be on Totsilence, but what can you do? So I see it this science, impact of science, since now I can't finish the wonder, but I still have some rocks to maybe rebuild a computer and at least win against Totsilence and Sektat in that category. So yeah, I have to play the reserves and sell the paintings, use Churchill, go for the units, copy tactics, go up to 97. It's an acceptable strength without the efforts. Still results in me losing some culture, but let's see if it's enough. And then there's the last reserves that I need to take. Then prof sports and democracy. There's taking some cards away from the row. The silence then pops, takes Gandhi, maybe some extra protection. At least Gandin can't attack him now. Just make some adjustments. Well, disband stuff and place patriotism and rebuild stuff. So some sort of choking place there, but he maybe has no shot at this point in this game. And the arms industry comes out, and he just goes for the internet and gets to some food production, so maybe some more impact points. Then Gandin aggresses Sektat, and that's actually pretty nice for my impact of science, since now he can't rebuild science anymore. He has 4, so he will lose the impact of science, and Totsilence will likely be 3rd. I can't overtake Gandin with my rocks in that science category, but I can at least score against Totsilence and Sektat with that. And Gandin should not be able to win the game from this position. Yeah, the main point why I was annoyed that I got the war, because he could see that he gets a pretty small war versus me, and he has no real shot at overtaking me with that war. And maybe with war in Totsilence he has at least some possibility to maybe score some more points in this game. But yeah, I got the war, and it went like this. So just one movie with Chaplin, still 16 points for the Hollywood. And for me, I had a sure aggression against Totsilence or Sektat, but I think, yeah, if I aggress Totsilence, I can't use my MA to disband some stuff and build some other stuff. So I just went against Sektat. Yes, I disband a couple of cavalrymen. I don't know about competition, but then again, if there's competition, I will score a lot anyway. So I need to play around the science event. I can play the reserves, and well, there was some other ways to maybe surpass Totsilence in science, but I think it was to do about being able to build another farm. That's the way I played it. And now there's why there's that window? Yeah, the culture before the final evaluation. I'm a bit behind Sektat, but I have some nice events versus him. Totsilence on third place at this point, and Gandin on last place. Let's see what impacts are in. Well, that's the science I know about. I already overtake Sektat. Then there's government. I'm not sure whose. Might be mine actually, but I didn't see that many events. But it's still nice for me with the Kremlin and strong CA count. Then there's colonies, probably paid by Totsilence. Competition, I did not play it, but it gives me a lot of points. And Gandin also gets 28. But now at this point I think it's fairly clear that I am actually able to win this game, even though I got the war. And there's tech. Wonders doesn't do much. And that's the game. So yeah, I was able to win it, even though there was the to take or not to take the Air Force, and I decided against it. Well, maybe the other option would have also given me the win, but maybe, haven't done the math there. But at that point, I thought that I want to go for that play, and well, at least it gave me the win. But you can maybe comment on that. Maybe your views. What would you have done there? So yeah, thank you for listening, and just feel free to give some feedback for the future. And for now, I say thank you and bye bye.